What's cracking, you guys? I was listening to these two gentlemen speak a little while ago, and one of them was explaining his position in life. His position was to teach others, our youth, how to conduct themselves in their lifestyle. That gangs wasn't just a gang; it was a way of life, and that he was a representative of that life and needed to teach kids how to conduct themselves correctly on how to be a good gang member. Now, these weren't no youngsters. I know when I was young, I used to think like that. I used to think that I set an example for gang members, for my little homies, on how to act and how to conduct themselves and how to gangbang basically, and to get away with it and do things like that. Was expected of them. As I got older and I had a child, my son, first thing I remember thinking was, I don't want my son to be like me. I didn't want my son to be a gang member. Because I know how hard it is and how destructive it was. Even though I was proud to be who I was, I knew that lifestyle was very destructive and there was nothing good ever going to come of it. Now, these gentlemen were talking as if they had taken it upon them personal to teach their kids how to conduct themselves and be a better gang member and what to expect in this life and all the integrity it took and how prestigious it was to be a gang member. My question to those gentlemen were, would you want your daughters being involved in the gangs? Your sons, for that matter. But let's just look at it from a girl's point of view. Most girls that are involved with gang members land up waiting for them while they're in prison. Whether they're on dope, they're not on dope. And these girls have kids and they struggle with these kids and they have to get on welfare and they have to run for their own man while they're busted and they go through all these hardships trying to live that life. At the same time, you got kids you're dragging along with you. So not only are you destroying your life, but you're destroying those kids' lives. I've seen this most of my life. I've seen this kind of lifestyle. The women get involved with the guy, and the guy goes to prison, and the women are stuck with kids, and they have to struggle and fight and do everything so that those kids have a fighting chance in life. Whether it's a boy or a girl, you're setting them up for failure again. And like I said, I wanted to ask this gentleman, hey, do you want your kids involved in this? The reason I asked that, or the reason I wanted to ask that, and I didn't because I just want to avoid the unnecessary drama. But I want to ask you is, why is it cool if you say no, that you don't want your kids involved in this? Why do you think it's cool that you can teach my kids how to be a better gang member and how prestigious it is and honorable? because you guys took it as if this is my responsibility. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to show these kids how to be righteous. But yet you don't want your kids involved in this. But it's all right to teach my kids, right? See, now I asked that question, but I already knew what the answer was. I already knew he wouldn't want his kids involved. I already knew it. There's nothing honorable in being in a gang. There's nothing honorable or prestigious about being in a gang. Being in a gang is very destructive, personally, emotionally, and physically. I unfortunately put my wife through the situation where she had to raise a child by herself because of something I did. But when I came home, I made it a point that I don't want my son following in my steps. I taught my son, just like she did, that there was no future in the gangs. There was no honor in it. So before you go around telling people how honorable gangs are and how it's up to you to show people by 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 example how to act, how to conduct yourself, maybe you should really think about what you're saying. Because I know for a fact you wouldn't want your kids involved in this shit. But you're willing to put somebody else's kid in the line of fire. I don't think, a lot of times, I don't think these gentlemen speak from the heart. I think they speak from wanting to be something that they're never going to be. I think these gentlemen speak recklessly. I think they say they want to show these examples that these kids need to see this example. Kids need to see people in college as an example. People that are making things in their lives better as an example. Fathers in the homes as an example. Going to work every day, doing what they have to do to make their lives better for their family and themselves. They don't need an example of a gang member. That's just my take. Some guys really need to think about what they're saying. Have a blessed one, you guys.